Like, wait. Yo, Lynn is in the chat. Yo, dude, I'm watching your gameplay, bro. Everyone said you're the best Sork, and I'm trying to do my best to learn. Cause I kind of want to learn how to 1v1 versus every class so that when I move into 3s, I can understand what each class is doing. Whereas in 3v3, it feels like a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? You should get in Discord and talk about the games. Yeah, let's go. Fuck yeah. All right, cool. Wait, is this the real Lynn? How do I know it's not an intruder?
I mean, I should hope it's the real Lynn. Well, I guess you'll be able to just watch my gameplay, and then we'll
find. All right, I believe you. I believe you. Cool, cool. All right, so I think I'll share my screen, and then I'll watch your VOD, and then you can maybe tell me what you were thinking or something.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Sick. All right, so I'm gonna play this like probably pretty slow, and what kind of? This is just like one of your VODs. So yeah, let's take a look.
All right, so you want me to like narrate what I'm trying to do, or you go over and then I kind of confirm, deny your thoughts?
Yeah, maybe I'll go over, you confirm, deny, or if there's something really important, maybe just interrupt me.
Sounds good.
Okay, so right here, you're low HP, and you have another teammate that's low HP. I mean, at some point, you're probably gonna die. You have your ult. Actually, maybe before we get into this, let's just do like a general kind of like walkthrough. So you have your Q, which is like your crystal, does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Your W, which is like zap, and it brings people in closer, and your E, which is like a freeze. So generally, what you're trying to do is land your W, your E, or your S to like knock them up, and then land your Q for damage or your F for damage. Is that generally?
Pretty much, yeah. So your combo is usually W into like Q or F, or E into W, then Q or F. You can't just do E. You have to pair up E with like either W or A or some other skill, because the final hit has a little bit of a delay on the end.
Okay, so
that's a true combo into itself. So you use these two skills to catch people, and then you burst them with like the QF combo.
So you can't use E without W. Did I hear that right? Like if you...
That's right. You need either W or you need A to hard to see them within the AoE so that they don't get to move out, or you need your S to like knock them up. You just need something to keep them in there, because if you just do E, it's like it's a 4-hit skill. The first hit does absolutely nothing. It doesn't even stagger. It's just like a regular hit. Then second and third do like a little bit of a stagger, keeps them in place. And then there's a big delay where they can just space out, they can dash out, they can do something. And then the final hit comes.
I see.
If you try and do like E into Q, that's not going to work. You have to do E into W into Q, or E into A into Q. Otherwise, it's not going to true combo.
So that's already like really good. Because for me, I was just trying to do like E into like, say F, you know, for example.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
That's not going to work. Okay, but you could do...
They can space out.
They can space out. Okay. Sounds good. So that's really good. Do you ever lead with S?
Lead with S. I mean, it depends. I think S is a really good skill to get a second knockdown. So if somebody uses their roll, like uses their space when they're down, if you catch them again, they're pretty much dead if you have a coordinated team, right? So usually I want to use that either for peeling for my team or to get a second knockdown. But if I feel like I can get a good first hit and I can still convert out of it with my like R or something, with my Tsunami, then maybe I'll do that. Usually I use it for recatches, but you'll be seeing me use it a lot for just for first catches as well, because it's a very good skill.
Okay, so if your W, just to make sure I understood, like if your W is off cooldown, you would usually lead with your W over S.
Yeah, you don't, like S is not, how to say, S is a tool that gets you a knockdown. You can't do any damage off of S. S doesn't really hit all that hard. You can't combo anything off of it. You're only going to be using S into combo skill if they don't have roll, right? If they're ready to use space.
Right.
So if they're ready to use space, I want to use S. Like, that's my priority. If they haven't used their roll, if they haven't used their space while they're on the ground, then I'll lead with E or W, because that means I can get a guaranteed combo without them being able to roll away. So that's a priority, is what I would say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so yeah, then just to go over the rest of your abilities. So like D, you're going to use maybe preemptively if like a Zerker is trying to rush you, or someone's like, maybe you think they're going to come in close, you use D preemptively. Or do you ever combo D off of something else? Like I actually saw like 10 or 15 seconds ago here, you like comboed them with running into them and then using D off of something. Like, is that something you're looking out for?
Very rarely. Sometimes you want to do that for combo extensions. So you're going to be doing that if, for example, you feel that keeping them on the ground for longer, if you don't have any damaging skills, is going to let your teammate come in and stop them. Or they're a high priority target. There's something like, I don't know, a Blade or a Lance Master Destroyer, and you kind of have to keep them down to buy your team some time. So you may run in and use D if you on a target that's ready knockdown, if you want to extend their knockdown time, or if you just want to set up for a combo, right? So sometimes you may get a knockdown, but that knockdown is not long enough to combo somebody. So if you think they're going to be getting up before that, you can just run in and then use D to try and extend the knockdown and get a combo confirmed. Also, if you have like your damaging skills are on cooldown and you feel like, okay, if I buy like 3 more seconds, 4 more seconds worth of time, I'll be able to burst them, then you do that as well. But usually you hold that for self heal. It's
Got
if
it.
I'm doing it offensively, I may not have been in my right mind.
Got it. Okay, cool. And then, all right, so this is like a newbie question, but a lot of people might benefit from it too. What can you spacebar trinket out of between your W, which is the lightning, the E, which is the the freeze, the S, which is the knockdown, the R, which is like the wave, the D, which is the knock up, the A, which is the gust. What can an enemy actually spacebar trinket out of?
So if you get hit, you can't trinket if you get hit, right? It's like the trinket is when you're on the ground, right? It's a ground escape roll of sorts, right? That's what the trinket is. So
Right.
the only skill here that you can trinket out of really is E, right? Between that second to last and the last hit, you can like you don't even roll, right? You essentially you just do a regular spacebar dash, right? If you're talking the
Right.
trinket, which is the roll,
Yeah.
then it's whenever you're on the ground,
So
which
which
would be any
S?
skill that knocks you down. So it's like S, D, and R would be the skills that knock you down. Also, if you're being comboed or you keep somebody in a combo for more than 3 seconds, they're gonna fall as well. So for example, if you do W and then you wait and then you do E, they're gonna be able to just roll out of your E because you've comboed them for too long. And that gives them the opportunity to roll away.
Right. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So like so S, D, and R, they can all spacebar out of. They're the W, which is the lightning, doesn't actually put them on the ground, so they can't spacebar out of that. They're like if you land your W, they're stuck in it.
Yeah, if you land a W, they're stuck in it until like either you hit them with something else after the 3 seconds are up, or if you've knocked them down or hit them with like something else. But if they're on W, they're gonna be stuck there until the very end.
Wow.
Usually,
So W is just really strong.
it is. It's really low second too, like 10 seconds or something, so you can use it all the time.
Right. So say you land. If you land an E, like you say you start with an E, or what? So if you have everything off of cooldown and you see someone kind of in the corner of your screen, like a gunslinger, is W the
E's
first
priority.
thing? E's
Nah,
priority.
E has slightly longer range than W.
Oh, okay.
It's also faster. A lot of people at the high level can just react to your W.
Right.
They see you put your wand up, and then you bring your hand down, and it
Right.
takes a while for the orb to appear. So say that I'm Shadow Hunter, right? I see a Sork using that W. I just like Desperate Breakthrough. I just rush in, and then that's it. I get a free catch,
Right.
easy. So you want to open with E, which is a lot harder to react to.
Right.
So you open with E, maybe they react to, but likely they won't, especially if you have like the field of view advantage. And E hits pretty hard, right? You're gonna be doing like at least 12k just with E alone. So then you use E, then you do W to keep them there, then you go for your big,
Q into
elemental
F
react.
or something.
Yeah, Q into F, big combo, exactly.
Okay, so if you land the E, you're stoked because then you can W, which means you can Q and then F. If you land all that, you're probably just playing max range and waiting for cooldowns, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
And then R, A, S, and D. So R, A, and D is kind of if they're a little bit closer or to just like zone them, right? Like if they're kind of coming in, you can just pop an R, or if they're kind of coming in, you can pop an A or preemptively D.
Yeah. Usually you should position yourself in a way where they shouldn't be coming into you. So a lot of times you're going to be using these skills to peel for your team as well.
Okay.
It depends on what pod you're running. So there are many pods for the second level. You can run one where the wave moves really slowly. Then like it's primarily a self-peel skill. There's one where the skill like rebounds, where it's like a little bit of a half-half. It goes pretty far, but then it also rebounds, so it can save you. And then there's one, which is one that I tend to run in my build, is where the wave lasts a very short time, but it goes really far. So you use that primarily for peeling. So it depends on what pod you're running, really, how you exactly going to be using your R skill.
Okay. And then S is to extend CC. Or maybe if you don't have E or W up and you want to maybe start, you can maybe start with an S.
Yeah, like S is a knockdown tool when you have to see it as such, right? It's you use that to peel, so you get a knockdown the enemy. So it's a push, right? Push immunities are things that a lot of classes don't have too much of. So it's a really good way of interrupting enemy combos. So use S to peel. Use S to catch somebody if they have ready used their trinket, if they're ready on the ground and they rolled, because once they're on the ground, they're not going to be able to do anything. And you can use S for like your first catch as well, but usually you want to have a way of getting another knockdown off of that. So you either want to be using R after you get land an S and after they roll, or you want to be able to like have your A ready to stun them or something that you can use to convert out after they roll after your S.
Did I hear that right? You said use A to stun. Does Gust have a stun attached to it?
Yeah, it's a hard CC.
Okay, so I'm playing
That's
Freeze instead of Gust. Maybe that's a mistake.
It's viable.
Okay.
No. I think this clip is actually probably pretty old. You probably go with some of the later clips that I've done, and I've actually been playing Sork with the Freeze as well. They're really flex. Freeze is easier to use.
Yeah.
And it's better for self PO. A is better for coordinated team play since it goes a lot further and it's instant. So, but you don't have any paralysis immunity when you do A, right? So,
right.
Pros of A is it's long, it's fast, it's great for team PO. Pros of
okay.
Pros of the Frozen Fog, the ice one, is it's slower, but it has a wide melee range, so it's good for self PO against melees, and it has paralysis immunity, which is easier for you to immune things with. You can also pot it to run with push immunity, which is what a lot of people do. Most people actually run with push immunity. Sorceress has no push immunity with this build that I'm running right now. If you take the Freeze, you then actually get a push immunity. So Freeze if you want to be more defensive, Gust if you want to be more offensive or like team oriented.
Perfect. That makes perfect sense. For 1v1s, I know you don't really, they're not super competitive, or like you don't play them a lot or whatever, but would you rather play Gust or Freeze? Or
you run both, if I'm going to be real.
You run both, so what would you drop then?
Usually you wouldn't even be running like a W in 1v1.
Really?
Because it is such reactable skill, there are lots of classes, especially if you get the big arena, it's fine. But there are two arenas in 1v1. There's a big one and then there's a small one. If you get the big one, no problem. But you can't decide that, right? It's RNG.
Right.
If you get the small one, they can kind of just react to your W and then rush you down, which is not that good. So usually people take you'd be kind of giving up W and be taking a second hard CC, or you just run Freeze usually would be better in that situation, and then you kind of replace your A with something a little bit more defensive, like Ice Needles, which is the ice shower from above, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have some kind of, because that's a push immunity skill as well. So you maybe run that. You just run like as many push immunities as you can, and you win kind of by surviving, right? People go in on you, they overcommit, and then you kind of punish them for it. Some people even like choose to drop lightning and they run the meteor instead, because it's not like anybody's going to be interrupting you anyways. So you can afford to take some casting skills. But 1v1 Sork is pretty flexible. There's lots of different ways of building it. It's not too big a class in 1v1 because it's not that good in 1v1s, but you can kind of be flexible what you want to run.
Okay, what are the best classes in 1v1s out of curiosity?
Best classes in 1v1. I think Gunlancer is usually regarded to be really, really strong. They don't run the buff in 1v1. So that can like really help them out because they have push immunity almost all the time. They can either run like specialty builds or they can run the hook chains, and they're just kind of really difficult to target. So that's a class that's really tricky to deal with 1v1. A Blade, Death Blade is really, really strong 1v1. She can just use her a Maelstrom, which makes her completely immune to paralysis. And that's 7 seconds where she can just walk at people. And in 3v3, you have a big map and you have your team to support you. But in 1v1, well, a menacing blade just walking at you is something that's very, very difficult to deal with.
Right.
And then for the final pick, I think it's a little bit flex, honestly. I think Deadeye does really, really well in 1v1s. Has lots of kind of unreactable engages, and he can play it from range as well. His kick is really solid. But honestly, like Shadowhunter is also really good. With the 750 agility patch that we have right now, War Dancer is really good. So is Striker. I think there's lots of classes that do well in 1v1s. The thing with 1v1s is usually very counterclassy, very rock, paper, scissors. So like Gunlance is really good 1v1, but then you fight a Bard, which is usually considered to be bad. But then a Bard can just out-heal your damage as Gunlancer. So then you kind of lose that matchup. So that's a whole different kind of worms.
Right. No, that's kind of how it is in like WoW or something. Like there might be a class that's really good, and then another class just counters it, but that class that counters it isn't actually very good in anything else.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I think those are a lot of my questions. Like now I feel like we have a good footing to where we can actually just play the video. All right, cool. Thanks, man. By the way, that really like helps me a lot. I think a lot of people watching probably learned from that conversation too. All right, let's do this. All right, so you're low. You pop your E straight into a Q. So you said that E into a Q doesn't really work, right? Because he can just get out of this.
That's right. I think he's hard to see right now. I think you can see that he has a little bar on top of his head. If you go back 5 seconds or something,
Okay, let's go back.
Just go back a little. Let's see what led to that situation. Okay, so playing the neutral, Blade goes in, I move away. Okay, Gunslinger caught him and froze. That's why I did that as the Gunslinger already had that combo. There was no need for me to actually do anything. I put the E there mostly for damage,
Got it.
not as a catch, right? So he also got frozen there, so there was no need. I converted off of my teammate's combo. I didn't catch them myself.
All right, so this is super noob question, but the bar over their head, I thought that was the time that they were immune to CC.
It is, that's correct.
Oh, okay, so...
But I see the bar has come up, so I know that they're hard to seed.
Oh,
So,
I thought this was the bar. It came up like after you were out of CC and you were immune. So every time I saw the bar, I was like, okay, I'm going to run. Shit. So they're CC'd still, but when they get out of it, they're going to, like, say it's like halfway done, they'll be immune for like that second half.
That's right. If theoretically you had a hard CC that lasted for 7 seconds, then you could hard CC them again right after it. It starts ticking from the moment that the CC is inflicted, not when you break out.
Got it. And it's 7 seconds, you said?
That's right.
Okay, that actually helps a lot. So right when I see the bar, that means they're probably CC'd still from whatever hit them into that.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps a lot. All right, anyway, so he CC'd, so you're going to E into a Q. And since you don't have F, you probably won't F. Is there any chance you're going to combo this up with anything else?
Maybe S if I'm greedy.
Okay.
But we'll see if I hold or not. Okay, there. So I actually used R there to just inflict a dot, since I guess I was going to die.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could have used S there as well. I think it was flex.
Okay.
Let's see.
So you spawn, vibing out.
That's bad. Triple kill.
So you lead with your W there, doesn't catch anything. You try to R to maybe dead zone, doesn't really catch much. So
no. So that R was really good, right? So I used the R to prevent, because the Hawkeye was in stealth, or sharpshooter, he went in stealth. Sharpshooters usually engage with a dash that inflicts paralysis on you. So what I had to do is like, okay, he's definitely going to go on me. I'm a free target. I need to R defensively, so if he goes on me, he's going to get punished, and that's exactly what happens.
Oh, sick. Okay, so, man, I'm so glad you're here to explain this. So which one is it this guy here?
Yeah. Archer.
So he goes
So go into stealth. I'm trying to catch him out of the stealth. Miss.
Oh, so you miss here, but now you're dead. Okay, perfect. I see. Wow, dope. Okay. So then you spacebar out.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna roll right after that.
Okay, so he rolls. So now he has no roll. Roll is his spacebar, right?
Yeah, so you have 2 spacebars. You have your standing spacebar and your roll, right, which is your grounded spacebar, which is technically the trinket, the escape. So I'd probably be looking to catch him with my S, maybe, if I can. But we'll see what happens.
With your S, and the reason you're using S is because he has no spacebar. Because you just got it with
that's
R.
a range knockdown. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what I do. Okay, I'm just waiting it out, waiting for my team to come. Okay, that's fine.
So you E here. If it catches anything, you'd probably W, Q, into F, but you didn't. Yeah. So you're just going to maybe keep chasing, wait for your team, kind of hanging out.
That pet is terrible. I'm very looking out for that pet right now, because that pet is a pain to deal with.
Really? Okay. So this guy's stealth behind you. It's a little sketch.
Yeah.
So you maybe pop a D, or would you spacebar?
I'm going to get hit. I don't think I'm animation locked there. Unless I spacebar away and I react to that, but I don't think I can. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I can't.
Spacebar out.
No hot TC.
Okay. And now, so in this situation, you want to attack this guy. You don't have your W, your Q, your S. So maybe you wait for your teammate to knock him down and then pop like QF. I don't know.
Yeah, what I did there's a hard CC instead. I used my A because I realized the Gunslinger is getting a combo, but their blade is right there, right? He's going to get peeled off super easily. So I need to do something to keep that man there. And the best way to do that is to hard CC and then go for the combo. Let's see what happens.
So you're going to A into QF.
Like Q or something, yeah. Let's see. There we go.
A,
and you can
Q, see? F. Fuck yeah.
And my teammate got peeled exactly as I predicted, right?
Yep.
And that managed to convert even though he dropped it. Okay, my Gunslinger friend doesn't have roll now, so I'm kind of watching out for him.
Okay. So you're going for QW combo. Maybe you'd maybe follow with S if you landed. You don't land, you get knocked up, you spacebar out. You're getting hit, you spacebar it again. So you just like YOLO queued there. That's
yeah. That wasn't a good crystal. Usually I should not have been doing that. That I wanted to dissuade him from going on my teammate, but it was too slow. I should
okay.
probably have just done like an R there towards my teammate, so that when he axled in towards my teammate, he'd at least have gotten hit. But that wasn't the right play.
Okay.
What I did there.
So this guy jumps over that wave. That was kind of lit. He's on you, so now you have no space bar, and he's pretty close. So here you're probably, doing D. Yeah.
He doesn't go in. That's fine.
He doesn't go in. He goes for the gust. He's shooting you. So are you gonna look to like Z, like use your ability on the
I'll probably
shot?
just outrange him. I think I just walk out of it. Yeah, because it takes
okay.
some time to charge that, so no need to waste it.
He hits you from below. So here you probably space bar and like reposition.
Can't reposition. I'm in a combo, so he's gonna hit me probably. So either he hits me in combos and then I have to roll away. Yeah, I rolled away. I got the knockdown. You can't break out of a hit stun. If they hit you, you have to take it.
So the reason you could spacebar there is because you were stunned for more than 3 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you actually look at the time of the amount of time that he kept me in that combo, would have been about 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, let's watch
the moment he first hits.
She comes up from below.
36.
1, 2, 3. And so
132.
So you're just spamming spacebar here, basically.
That's right.
And the clock, remind me again what this means. That was the 3-second timer.
That's right. So you see how there's some scales above my head.
Yeah.
That means that I procced the force knockdown from being comboed for too long.
Oh, sorry. Say that again.
The scales means that it procced the force knockdown from being comboed for too long.
Okay. And then that can only occur. So that when you have the scales, you get immunity to combos for a second, or like what does it?
No, so it just knocks you down. Scales means you are essentially it forcefully applies a push on you, so that you're on the ground, and then you can roll away. But it itself does not give immunity. The immunity is from either you rolling away or getting up naturally.
Okay, so the scale just means you got 3 seconds of CC'd, and it kind of it's an indicator that you can spacebar, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. It only applies to standing combos too, right? So you can have like knockups last for like 10 seconds, but you're not going to get scales. It's only if you get standing comboed that you get scales. There's a CC guide to that for this too, so it can be pretty helpful if you haven't seen it.
I think I have, but I watched it before I started playing, and now, yeah. All right, so I probably need to like rewatch it again. All right, let's watch. All right, so you go in for a W. It doesn't land. You're checking scoreboard. So this guy's coming in. You're probably going to go for an E. It lands. This guy zaps. You spacebar away. The E lands, but you didn't follow it up, so he's kind of just fine. They're kind of poking. You have your W back up.
That pet's gonna hit me.
Spacebar. Okay, so you land. Maybe your teammate landed something first, and he's frozen. Or CC'd, yeah. He CC'd at the bar. Yeah. So you could WQF this guy, but this guy's going to fuck you up if you try, right?
I think that's my teammate.
Oh, that's your teammate. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just fuck this guy up pretty hard then, huh? Oh, but this guy's here.
Yeah, Archer came and peeled very well.
Yeah, so now you're CC'd, and you don't have a spacebar. And you have 8 seconds left on your good spacebar, your trinket.
Yeah, my roll. So maybe I'll be able to... Okay, no, he knocks me down.
Okay. So in this situation, I don't know, you could try to like E and the Q this guy.
No, not that guy. No, you see that little aura around him? That's Maelstrom. That makes him completely immune to paralysis and regular hit stun. So my W's not going to work on him. My E's not going to work on him. The only thing that's going to work on him is either a push or a hard CC. So right now he's not a target. He's pretty low. So maybe if I can get something like an S to try and get like a push and do a little bit of damage, finish him off. But maybe I could try doing an E because it does hit quite hard. But usually I'd be looking to attack somebody else like the summoner, which is at the...
How long does this spinny thing last?
About 7 seconds.
Okay. So if is this just this one class?
Yeah, it's Deathblade.
Okay, cool.
So I do an S there.
On top of you, like a defensive S, kinda.
Ish. Let's see.
Oh no, that was okay. No, I thought it was on, like right under you. My bad. Get the kill. Nice. All right, so this is this Varus looking guy. So you're gonna E him, go for a WQ maybe.
Yeah. He cancels the skill though.
So how did he actually get out of that E? He canceled a skill and just spacebarred out, or
Yeah, so he reacted to me using the skill. He saw like he started sniping as a sharpshooter. Snipers are big damage too, but it's also very easy to interrupt. So he probably just saw me at the edge of his screen and he's like, okay, I gotta get out. So because it's a charging skill, he can just let go of the button and then use another skill, which is exactly what he did. Because he probably saw me
was that his
going in there.
spacebar, or did he use another ability?
No, he just canceled and then he used well, I forgot the name of the skill, but it's like a little jump forwards.
Got it. Jump
Okay, so
forward. And now since he's on you here, I guess your options, you're probably going to press D or A, right?
yeah. Or just move away, because I usually don't want to be dueling too much as a sorceress. So we'll see what I do. Okay, there we go. D. Damage. 28k, wow.
The D hit for 28k, and then you follow it up. Can you follow up D with a Q? I think you can.
No, so what I did is I did D into F, and that's what did 28k.
Oh, so D into F, okay.
There are two combos that you can do. You can do D into F, which is your big damage combo.
Right.
Or you can do D, then you wait like half a second, and you Q where they're going to get knocked back, right? Because you have a little knockback.
So if you do it too fast, the Q won't even land because they'll be in the air.
Exactly. So you wait a little bit. Usually you just want to be going into F if you have it, because it's more damage, but
yeah,
might as well.
Okay, that's really good to know. And this guy, he can't roll until he hits the ground. That's why D into F will work. But like D into Q, the timing would have to be perfect, right? Because right when he hits the ground, he's going to spacebar.
Pretty much, yeah. So like we'll be looking to, as soon as he spacebars and as soon as he recovers, he has like a second of immunity. And the thing is, because he's sharpshooter, he has a lot of ways of dashing out. So I may be looking to, if I can't get an S since it's coming off cooldown, I'll probably just wait this out and then try and regroup with my team, or move further upwards so I can get some FOV advantage.
Okay. Gust, he plays back on you. Yeah, takes. Yeah, so Sork, like a lot of the times you want to play with your team. Like just the duels, like you said, are not super advantageous.
Yeah, it's not good. If you're left alone on Sork, that's your weakness, right? So Sork is really good at getting away, but you get away to regroup with your team, right? You can only run away for so long. The strength that your class has is you make enemies overcommit and then your team can punish.
Right.
But you don't want to find yourself 1v1. So that's usually...
Okay, yeah. So see? I want to see what you did there, yeah.
So I knew that he had no roll, right? So, like...
Right.
I know this guy has no space. So
when did he use his spacebar?
Pretty sure, wasn't it a bit early? I'm pretty sure, let's see.
Let's go back. Sorry, let's go back again. So here you res.
I haven't seen my teammate ping. Oh no, okay. Or maybe he didn't even use his spacebar, and that was just me going YOLO. Usually I shouldn't be doing that then. Scratch that. Don't do what I did. It ended up working out. Some people will try to hold space, but they can react reverse gravity. So that was not a good D. But hey, it worked out.
So you opened with S
to try and get a knockdown, but he didn't roll.
And then he didn't land the S. Then you R, and it's a knockdown into a second knockdown.
Yeah. So that's because
an F into an E into an F. Damn.
Okay, so he did manage to roll. So right there, what I did was the reason why I used that is like if he had like I just gotten a standard knockdown with R, it would not have been long enough to get a big combo. Because the R knockdown, if you're running the fast wave, is quite short. So if they have no roll whatsoever, you can kind of do R into F. But if they don't have roll, then you might as well extend that, get as much damage as you can, right? Which is what I did. I got my Q damage, I got my E damage, and I got my F damage. So,
right, cool. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but it's a bad idea doing a D there because I didn't know he had roll.
Yeah,
yeah. Could have just given up a very important self peeling tool, especially versus a Deathblade. You don't want to do that.
All right, so here this guy's CC'd, so you can just straight up lead with Crystal.
I hit him with my hard CC. Yeah. Bonk.
Oh, you hit him with your A. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So you can do A into Q then. That's enough time?
Yeah, A is a very, very long hard CC. You can do A into Q into F because the push from the Q is going to buy you enough time to land your F.
Wow. So
it's like a really good tool.
Can you use... So the ability I use, Freeze, can you use Freeze into Q into F? Or is that not long?
You can indeed, yes. You have to be fast though, because you don't have if they're frozen, they don't get pushed. They just stay there, right? As if they're frozen.
Right.
So you do have time to reposition a little, but usually just either get one or you... so you reposition and get one, or you get both without repositioning.
I see. You go in for the W, doesn't land. It's knocked up, you spacebar out. Okay. So you S and then you dash in towards him.
Yeah, so this is me making a very big gamble, right? So my gamble here is he literally uses Awaken. He uses a lot of skills. He uses cooldowns. He's using his mobility to get away. I will try and go in to where he is dashing and get a D probably or an R, something to get a catch because we already have so little momentum. We're 6-10 at this point in their favor. I need to make something happen. And under this 60-second period, it's 30 seconds in EU and an A, but you see how the timer is red?
Yeah.
That means that you get a 25% crit chance and a 20% damage bonus applied to every single one of your skills.
Wow.
So this is the time for you to do damage. It's very explosive. If a
This is
comeback
when
is
you
going to
want to
happen, it's going to
ult.
happen now. Yeah.
You want to ult with 1 minute left usually.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest with Sorka, it doesn't matter too much because your ult doesn't do that much damage, but
okay. So you get him with the W. Now you probably Q into F. Yep.
Yep.
Boom, boom.
There we go. He's almost dead.
I guess I should have asked this a bit sooner. I don't know if I've seen you use a single auto attack this entire game. How often do you use them, and what use cases would you use just like a basic C or left click?
Basic attacks never do anything. As in, for Sorceress, they don't even hit stun the enemy. They are just, you're throwing a glitter dust at people.
What about so like against Artillerist?
Yes. So the only time that you would use that is when you have a class that can engage on you, and they do not engage with paralysis. They engage with just a regular hit stun that you can immune. So if I think a Gunslinger or a Deadeye is gonna rush me with Deathfire, if I think that an Artillerist is going to open up Gatling, then I'm gonna be using basic attack. But usually you don't want to be using basic attack. It also tends to, I think, anti-lock you at the first few frames of animation. So if you try to react to something with spacebar while you're basic attacking, it's probably not going to come off in time. So it's usually not a good idea to basic attack.
Okay, so basically never use it, but you can maybe
you can use the bait. Like, people think that you're going to E. You can't react to the E animation. You have to react to N animation usually. So if they think you're gonna E and you think that they're very like trigger happy with pressing that spacebar, you can use just a basic attack to see if you can bait out a spacebar. So you can use that as a bait, but they have to kind of be really looking out for your E.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's keep playing. So you land your A here, and I see that stun.
Yeah.
And you follow it up with R.
Yeah.
And then
it's like the dot, and probably S if I can kill there.
Oh, so how big is do I play with the dot on R? I should. I guess
it's fire, it has a dot, yeah.
Okay, so I do play with the fire one. Okay, so you're landing R for the dot a lot of the times just for the damage, and then of course the knockdown, but
yeah, the damage is not too high, but might as well do 2 instead of 1, right? Let's see what I do.
But R isn't gonna knock him down because he has CC immunity. Is that right?
It is gonna knock him down. Hard CC is different from push. So knockdown, knockback,
oh shit, okay.
knock up. These are different from hard CC. It's a different state.
So your only hard CC is A.
That's correct.
And if I was running ice, my only hard CC would still be ice.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. I think that's what's so... Yes, sorry, this is probably super cringy because I've asked the same question like 10 times. But okay, so if I'm running ice, my only hard CC is ice. My knockdowns, again, would be S, D, and R.
Yep.
And then
Q as well because it pops up, right? When it explodes, it's a knockdown. But you're realistically not going to be using that as a knockdown. You're using that as damage, right? The knockdown is just an added bonus.
Okay, and so they can spacebar out of SDR. There's nothing they can do to get out of A, and nothing they can do to get out of W. And then
W or E, that's right.
And
unless
E, but there's that gap in E, so you kind of need to pair it. And then W and E, what are those considered then?
They are just paralysis skills.
Paralysis.
So if you consider when it comes to, they have regular hit stun, which is just like a blast using Gatling gun. Then you have things like your W and E, which is paralysis. So it's literally just hit stun, like Gatling, but it's a little stronger. So you can't just basic attack through it. You have to use a skill that is specifically designated as being paralysis immune, which is why W and E are so strong, because they can pierce anything that isn't immune.
Right.
Then above that, you have your pushes, which is like your S and your D, which are knockdowns, knockups, and knockbacks. And then you have hard CC, which can't be immune by anything other than very specific buffs or all immunities.
Okay, so you have your W and your E. You have your R, your S, and your D. Wait, so it was stronger though. The W and the E is stronger than R, S, and D, right?
No. So if somebody is immune to pushes, they're going to have a yellow outline around their body. So you can see my Shadow Hunter buddy there, right next to the clock. She's yellow right now there. So
Yeah.
that means that I cannot apply any push to her. I cannot apply my S, my D, or my R. They can't be knocked down while that's happening. I also can't apply W or E because that's not going to pierce through that immunity, right? That yellow frame, that's going to make them immune to paralysis, to hit stun, and to push, right? To their knockdowns. So if you're only immune to paralysis, you're not necessarily immune to a knockdown. So a knockdown is usually considered stronger than a paralysis skill. The useful part about paralysis, though, is if you some classes can do a push, so can do a knockup into a damaging skill. Sorceress's knockups are not that long, with the exception of D, which is your reverse gravity. So most of your combo is going to come off of paralysis and not off of pushes. It depends on what class you're playing and which one has more use of each.
You can spacebar out of a knockdown, but not out of a paralysis.
You can spacebar out of a knockdown once you hit the ground. If I keep you in the air, you can't spacebar, right? So a Deathblade might rush into you, get a knockup, and then do a big burst combo. There's nothing you can do to space out of that because you're in the air.
Got it.
You can only use your trinket once you touch the ground. With Sorceress skills, you touch the ground quite often. Like if you do S, they fall really quickly. If you do R, they fall really quickly. It's not long enough for you to get damage out. If you do D, though, that's still a knockdown. You know, it pushes them and lifts them up and then it knocks them down. But because they stay in the air for longer, it means that there are certain skills that hit them while they're in the air, and you can use that. Or you can, for
Like
example,
F.
stagger the knockdown. Yeah, like F. Or you can stagger the knockdown so that once the knockdown hits, they're going to get hit by your Q before they hit the ground, which is why I said, you know, you have to wait like half a second before using Q.
Right.
Because you can then DQ, and that's a true combo, and they cannot space out of that because they're in the air.
Got it. So the yellow here, you said that they're immune to, like, the yellow here would be immune to W, E, R, S, and D. But what about A?
A is the only skill that would go through that.
And A can't hit into this because he's hard CC immune, right?
That's correct.
But W, E, S, D, and R would all work on this guy?
Yes. It only wouldn't if he was frozen or petrified, because freeze and petrification specifically, as hard CCs, lock the character in a state like they are like literally frozen in place, right? So all the other hard CCs, so like fear, earthquake, electroshock, stun, everything, you can push them, you can apply knockdowns. It's only freeze and petrification where you can't. They just stay up as they are.
Okay, so as a Sorc, your only hard CC is A. So really, what you're looking for is the yellow. If someone's yellow, you're not going to try to combo someone who's yellow because that's all your shit.
I think you cut away there. We are back.
We did it. I don't know, guys. Amazon servers, something crazy's happening. We stopped talking while I was offline, so you guys didn't miss a thing. I don't think. But my aha moment was with Sorceress. If they have this hard CC on them, they're still very vulnerable. Hard CC immune on them. They're still very vulnerable because you can still land most of your stuff with this hard CC. I think a mistake I was making was like, okay, if they have this bar up, they're gonna be fucking like immune to everything, but the only thing they're immune to is A. On the other hand, with this yellow around an enemy, the only thing you can hit them with is A. So the rest of your abilities aren't gonna actually work at all. So if someone has yellow, that's when you want to back off. But if someone has this on them, you can still fuck them up pretty hard. And I think that's a good distinction for me. Cool. Let's keep playing. So this guy's probably fucking dead then, right? Yep.
Yeah, so R into S, right? Because that's the one thing that would combo.
I actually didn't see R into S because that's the stuff that's gonna work. So you knock him back. You are
S. Yeah, S just before he hits the ground, right? It's not like it would matter because it was hard to see. YOLO Awakening at that point.
Right, you just blink in and use it. Yeah. Blink around, hanging out.
Yeah, right there. I can't use. There we go. I actually waited. That was actually really nice. One thing you can do is you can also look at buff bars. So if you go back, you see that Deathblade has that cloak. She has that Maelstrom, that special effect. So that's the tiny one. The tiny one is just a team buff, which gives them attack speed. It's the big one for the Deathblade. You see that big one? I can't W, I can't E. And she has a lot of push immunity skills. You see how she's glowing yellow?
Yeah.
That means I can't use D or R on it. Like I don't have A up, so this play can literally just walk up to me and there's nothing I can do to her. But buff is going to be expiring soon, and you can see the buff on the right side. Can you see how there's like the red HP bars? You see the buff? Once it gets under 2 seconds, you're going to see a timer on that. So,
okay, and then you'll probably try to preemptively D because you think the buff's going to expire, right?
and so I'm either going to D just to desperately save myself and then try and space away, or I'm going to just try and use positioning to my advantage so that she can't go on me, and then punish that with an E right as it expires, because they, even though they're the ones that cast it, they're probably not paying attention to when it's going to run out.
Right. So over here, I'm looking at that timer. So you kind of like blink into the wall and trying to reposition with your teammate. And where's the timer? Oh, right here.
0.5. You see? So I know that she's gonna be free very soon.
So you can either D, you can either E into a W, into a Q. Let's see. So you spacebar down, and you E, W, Q. Boom. Later. Nice. So you Q here. You go for the knock up. No one chases you. You have everything on CD, so you're vibing out for a sec. Try to land the W. Oh, there's only 5 seconds left, I see.
Yeah, game is lost at this point.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it was a bad performance, right? Yeah. So
yeah, no, that's dope. Man, holy shit, yo, chat, you guys learned a lot. Type 1 in the chat if you guys learned a lot. I learned a lot. I'm gonna type a 1. That was freaking dope. That was freaking yeah. That dude, thank you so much, man. Like that really helps. That was like we watched like a 10-minute video over the course of like 45 minutes, but that really
match breakdowns. That's kind of how it is, I guess.
Oh, you know what we could do? We could watch my gameplay, and then you could be like, "Bro, what do you do?" Like, you know. I wonder if
we can do a cheeky VOD review, I guess.
Is that would that actually help? Yo, Chad, do you guys want to see that? Oh man. VOD review. Shit. All right. Everyone wants to see that. Oh man, this is gonna be embarrassing.
A little VOD review. Let me criticize the gameplay.
This is gonna be bad.
Bad for you. Good for everybody watching, I guess.
Sorry. All right. So this is my first. Though. Oh yeah, true. I've been playing mainly 1v1s because I've been trying to like learn the abilities that people use, and it seems like more of a controlled environment to do that. Okay, so first of all, I'm playing 16 by 9 because I can't stand the fucking long thing, dude.
Nah, that like it's like this is like a non-negotiable thing. I'm sorry. you need 21 by 9. Actually, non-negotiable.
Oh shit! All right, fuck, dude, we got called out. Dude, the thing is, my monitor is 16 by 9. So when I go to the black bars, it just looks like so trash. It looks so trash. But
look, it's the other way around. I've been using ultra wides for years, and every single game doesn't have ultra wide support. So I've been dealing with black bars. It just you get to feel what I feel for a change. So I think it's a fair trade, you know.
Shit. All right. Anyway, so we get to watch that. So we're playing against Deathblade, and
yeah, you have a standard build, which is fine.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm playing with Ice here instead of Gust, but other than that, I think everything else is like pretty much the same as that you have it.
Yeah, in this kind of scenario, like maybe you would run Gust on your 1 there,
right?
Instead of Vortex, but you got the big map, so that build is actually not bad, right? You can run that build in this big map, so you're doing all right with that build for now.
Okay, so the first button I press is 1. I can already just say that's like a mistake, or I should probably just 5 and then 1.
Yeah, but 1 second. Like I have to say how this VOD shows how you absolutely luck-sacked the hell out of that match. You see that electrocution pop up?
Yeah,
right there.
It's 10%.
That came on 10% on a hit, and you got that 10% your first hit. So that was a bit. You'd have immune that, but because you actually got the hard CC RNG 10%, you actually get that off.
All right. So when they are electrocuted, that means they're what does that actually mean? Hard CC'd?
That is a hard CC, yes. So your B there, so your frost would not work well. You see that their bar should probably show up.
Okay. So that the hard CC immune bar. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And how long does that electrocution hard CC actually last?
So that one I believe is 2.5 seconds.
1 sec, I'm gonna write a quick message. All right. 2.5 seconds for the electrocute.
Yeah. So
Okay.
all of them, all your hard CCs are 2.5. So your Frost, your Wind Gust, the one off of that orb, they're pretty much all 2.5 seconds, which is pretty consistent.
Got it. Okay, so since I land that, I'm going straight for an R. Is that, I mean...
Yeah. Honestly, right there, you should be going for a Chew then an R, because you can combo both, so you're kind of missing out on a little bit of damage.
Okay. So, I mean, thus far, I should have probably started with 5 instead of 1. If I landed my 5, then the 1 was fine. And then from there, I should have done 2 and then R, not just straight R.
That's right. I'm also going to criticize your choice of using your 3 here, your Tsunami, because he's already pretty far off. I mean, you could go for it if you want to apply like a push and apply a knockdown. But since this is a 1v1 scenario, it's not like you're going to be able to reposition and kind of get their focus off of you or make yourself a less desirable target because you are the only target, right? So I'd probably be saving, in a 1v1 scenario, I'd be saving my 3 and my 4 and be very conservative with it because I won't be stopping people coming in on me with those skills.
Okay, so really what I should have done is 2 into R and then reset, like ran away.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't even hit him anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm running away. We're waiting. We're vibing. We land our 5 here. He just runs right into it. So then I do 5 into...
out of that.
He's spacebar. Oh, right, because I don't have my 1 to follow it up. So he just spacebars out.
That's...
Oh, he doesn't. I think it hit him anyway, right?
Oh, no. No. Go back a bit. I think it skipped for me.
Okay.
Did it land on him?
I don't know. He probably just didn't spacebar. I'm playing super low MMR, right? Everyone's saying F again in the chat. Frick. Are we back? Are we back?
F again? I think you're back up for me.
Jeez Louise, dude. Amazon Web Services. What's going on, AWS? Huh. All right, we're back now. We're back.
We good.
We're good. Okay. We continue. So I landed the 5 straight into a 2. Oh, no. I think it... I don't know if it landed or not.
It didn't land, but not because he spaced.
I just missed it. I was out of range. Yeah. Is there a good way? Do you just learn the ranges on each ability, or is there a good way to know what max range is? You just have to kind of learn that.
Yeah, you kind of learn it. The game's a little bit weird. Some skills have smart casting, some of them don't. For Sorceress, all of your skills have smart casting by default, and you can't turn that off. So it's gonna be like that no matter what. You just have to like learn the ranges with time.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I just was a little too far for my 2. Didn't land. He spacebars out. So at this point, he has no spacebar for a second, which means I could go for an F.
Yeah. So that's probably the best thing for you to do because if he has no roll, right? Because he uses regular spacebar, so that's just an all immunity dash. So he can still use Axel. He can still use other skills that have mobility to get him out of that F. That will still have the yellow outline or still have immunity, so he can still go on you. So usually what you might want to be doing is landing a B because he hasn't used his like ground escape roll yet, right? You try to get that off with your 3 at the beginning, but it didn't land. So you either want to land your 1 or maybe get a B here to then convert it into a combo. But really all you're doing is buying time. You don't have any DPS skills, so
yeah,
you just want to stay alive at this point.
And DPS skills is really just 2 and R, right? I mean...
Yep. 5 as well to some extent, honestly.
Okay.
5 can hit quite hard.
All right, so he's here. I'm going in for a 1 to see if I can get a little zappity zap. Maybe I should have... Okay.
I mean, he may react to it, and like, it depends on what level you're playing, right? So if I was playing against a high-level player, as soon as I saw them on my screen, I'd be pressing 4, because I know they're probably going to be going in with like an Axel stun. Right. But if you're playing against someone that you know is a little bit more scared to go in on you, then you can be more aggressive with your 1. Like I said, you can usually, if you're a good player and you're looking out for 1, you can react to Sorceress using that skill, and you can just engage with a skill that inflicts paralysis because you are not paralysis immune during the 1. So that blade could literally have dashed on you and gotten the catch, but she didn't.
Okay.
But I'd be doing the same too at this level, honestly. I'd be greedy.
Okay, so I just send out my 3 like here as like a zone ability, so he can't push me. Is that just noob? Or should have saved it maybe?
That's fine.
Okay, that's
fine. I think the only thing is like, just I guess use it where he will be as opposed to where he is. Use it predictively because you do have the travel time. But that was like the right skill to use. I don't think that was an issue.
Okay. So here I preemptively 4.
Yeah, that's good. I think
It works out for me, but I don't have my 2 to follow it up or my R.
Yeah.
So what's the strat here? Just run?
So the strat there is, yeah, pretty much just wait it out. What you, yeah, because if you're running Gust, you could maybe hard CC as he falls down. And because it hard CC is 2.5 seconds, it may buy you enough time to get like a crystal, like a Chew or an R. Maybe it'd be a bit risky though. So really, at this point, you just kind of run away.
I could go in for a B. Like when he lands, go straight into a B, or is that noob?
It's the same thing, right? It's a hard CC, just like
Gust.
Just like Gust, but because it takes a while to connect, I'm not sure it would be fast enough. Especially because
he's
rising up quite far, right? So, if the thing with B is that it actually hits really high up, but I don't think it hits the max height. So once they start dropping, you kind of have to time your B to hit at the correct time.
So if I timed it perfect, I could maybe do it, but really I should just run. So let's do it.
You could, yeah, but right there, it actually worked out to use F for damage, but in the 1v1 scenario, I would be saving that because he now has no roll, right? He's already used his roll. And now you have no knockdown, no push skills to land on him. So right now, if you use like F on yourself, you can maybe have gotten him a second time and done your full combo damage. But you have B up right now, so you should probably use that. Let's see.
Okay, so I mean, for me, what I'm probably thinking right now is to like spacebar. I guess I already have spacebar on cooldown. I'm probably just trying to like Z or like reposition. Like that's what my WoW brain thinks. Like if someone's on me, I just want to blink. But really what I should do is B and in that hard CC go for like 2R.
Yeah, it depends. So I am seeing that the blade is using that twin dash movement skill.
Oh yeah.
That twin dash movement skill is not paralysis immune. And B is a 2-hit skill, right? You do the first one where you drop the wave on the floor, and then the second one which pops to the hard CC. That first hit is a paralysis hit. So if you land that on the blade while he's doing that dash, he's going to get interrupted. So I'd probably be using a B to interrupt him and break him out of that skill is what I would do. But you're not wrong. Like your decision to reposition is not incorrect. It's just I see this as an opportunity to get a punish, but it may not necessarily be right. He may also be in like the hard CC. So if he reacts faster than I do, he uses like a stun right here, right now, then my choice to use B would have been incorrect and your choice to use Z would have been correct. So it depends.
Okay, so let's see what I do. I ult. Okay, we do neither.
Yo, I wasn't expecting that. That was the right call because I could not have predicted that. So I'm thinking of all the things that one can do, and that is not one of them. So you actually caught me off guard here. I fell for that mix-up, dude.
I don't know why. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I put my ult. I don't know. Whatever. So actually, let's talk about the ult for a second. So we've talked a lot about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BFR, but we haven't talked much about V, like the ult. So you said it doesn't do much damage. It knocks them up, but it doesn't actually knock them down. It seems like they can just walk away after.
No. So it is a knock up. So every knock up, knockdown, knock back, they're all lumped into the same thing, which is a push, right? It's just you float and then you fall on the ground, and once you touch the ground, you get to roll. This is a 2-part skill. So the bubble opens. The first hit does nothing. It's just raw damage. It doesn't have any hits associated with it at all. And then once it starts vacuuming people in, it's going to be inflicting paralysis. So it's pretty good to catch and interrupt people. And then it vacuums everybody in, and you hit them with that push at the end, which is pretty handy. It's a utility awakening, really, more than a damage one. But it's really nice.
Okay, and then when they get knocked down, most of the time they're just gonna spacebar. If they spacebar, that leads you to a really good opportunity to use 3, 4, or F.
That's correct. Yeah. You get another knockdown off of that. And then if they have no roll, they have no escape. Right. You can do whatever it is you want to them at that point.
So then you could so after this V, if he space-bars, I could do 3 into 2 into R and the game's over.
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's see what I do. Knock him up. He doesn't spacebar for some reason. Maybe it's on cooldown? Or is he just a noob and not hitting?
I mean, no, because remember, you got the 4 back there, right? You knocked him back at the 4 like 10 seconds ago. And then he dashed into you, and then he used your awakening. So he literally has nothing up here. what I'd be doing is I'd just be bursting him hard. I'd be going like 5, chew, I'd be going hard right now.
So 2 R. I do 2 and then 3.
You do 1 there, which is the issue. I'd ask you, why did you use a low damage catching skill on a down target? That wouldn't have done anything to him.
So 2 into R was the play for sure.
Yeah.
And
Keep
then
in mind, if they're already on the ground, paralysis does nothing to them. They're already on the ground, right? It's a weaker tier of CC. So there's no point on using 1 on the ground.
No, that makes perfect sense. Cool. The CC Immunoverse head, I have a question. This was only for hard CC, and I never hard CC'd him, so...
I told you you're a luck suck, right? Go back 5 seconds. Tell me what happens. Tell me exactly what happens. You know what happens.
All right.
You'd use a certain skill, 1 hit. Let's see what happens the second and the third hit. There we go.
Oh, electrocution. Okay, guys. That's the hard CC. Spaced out. All right, sick. So since he's electrocuted here, and he's already knocked down, I just R. Like, why am I running, right? Like, I just R and he's dead probably, or like pretty darn close.
You should have kept in mind, like, you can look at the timer as well. People have about 12 to 13 seconds of cooldown. There's about 13 seconds cooldown on their roll once they hit the ground. So knowing that he has no roll, you should have just bursted straight and not used your 1.
Right.
And another reason to not use 1 when they're grounded is because of that RNG hard CC element. Now that he has that resistance, if he runs to you, you can't even use your B because he's immune to it now.
Yeah.
So that's a skill that you really don't want to be using on knockdown targets unless like you literally have nothing else.
Got it. Okay, so 2 into R would have been the play. Instead, I've randomly used 1 into 2 into 3. The 3 actually kind of worked out for me. I don't know why I pressed 4 here. That was not very smart. And then I 5, which is fine, but he can get out of the end of it, right?
Yeah, he's on the ground though. No, because he got knocked back by your 3.
Oh, okay.
So unless he has roll, he should be coming up back soon though. I think he should either have it up now. Or he should have it up in like 1 or 2 seconds. It seems like it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit, just in time before he got his roll back.
Okay. Round 2. So now I'm fighting Artillerist.
Okay, so that's where you're gonna be basic attacking. That's basic attack the matchup.
Interesting. Okay, so man, there's this video. I don't even want to tell you about it, dude. There was an Artillerist yesterday. I guess he was top 200 on Russia servers or something, and he has like 1% life, and I had full life, and he just killed me.
That's nothing to be ashamed about, because if Artillerist catches you once, it doesn't matter who you are, you're dead.
Okay, nothing to be ashamed about. You heard it here first. We're good. Okay, but yeah, no, it was really cringe. It was bad. All right.
Sorry. Blame your team. If you get caught by Artillerists and they didn't peel you off, blame your team. Easy.
It was a 1v1. I had no one to blame except myself.
Okay, that's a bit different then.
Yeah, it was a 1v1, bro. It was rough. All right. So here I open with my 1 again. Really, I probably should have just waited 3 more seconds and opened with 5, right?
Yeah, I ideally always want to be opening up with 5 because it is like much easier to land and harder to react to. But I guess if you're trying to zone him out, like I'm also gonna say this choice was wrong. You can pop that orb there and then back up a little because your R is also on cooldown. So you could probably like do a 1 and then your R should be coming off of cooldown at a similar time. So if you want to buy time, that's not like a bad idea. If you just want to catch him, then yeah, maybe just hold
wait
for another 3 seconds.
Okay. So you were saying that like 5 into a 1 is a sick combo because it keeps them there. What about 5 into an F if 1 is on cooldown?
That also works, but it's the weakest combo you can do. Because think about it like this. If you do 5 into 1, you can also then do a Q and an R. You can get your full combo damage out. That's going to be like about 12k from your 5, another like 13k from your Q, and then another 20k from your R. Right? You're going to be doing at least like, 45k or something.
Right.
If you land that combo. If you do 5 into F, you get like 12k from your 5 and like 6k from your F.
Right.
So you did 18k.
Right.
Such low value, you're much better off getting something else.
But so the only time you'd want a 5 into F is if like 1 is on cooldown. And then
yeah, so it's like if your B is on cooldown and your 1 is on cooldown, then I guess you can do F. Or if you're too far away to get a 4, because you can like lift them up and then go into your burst damage skill. So if literally the only thing you have would be like 2, 3, then or like your R, like damaging skills or your 3,
Yeah.
then I guess you would do F.
Could you do 5 into F if they had no roll, then do 2 into R?
Yes, that'd be optimal. That'd be what you want to be doing. Yes.
Okay, cool. What if can they do anything to get out of 5? Outside of like specific class specific immunities for CC. Like if I hit 5, they can't spacebar. Like they have to
Every class
preemptively
has a spacebar, so every class can space out of it if they have their spacebar off of cooldown. Spacebar is a universal immunity, so everybody can spacebar out of it. But some classes have additional ways of moving. Any dash skill that is either fast enough to take them out of the AoE before the final hit, or 2 has an element of paralysis immunity of like push immunity, then they will be able to get out of their 5 just by mashing.
So right when you land a 5, any class can just spacebar out.
Pretty much, yeah. There's nothing that would not be able to get out of it unless you maintain them in there.
So in a 1v1, if I start with a 5, I should almost expect them to just spacebar out.
Yeah, unless, of course, you have your 1 up, or you have your B, or you use your, your 4 or your F or something else to keep them in there.
So if I use 5 and then immediately use 1, they can't spacebar out?
That's correct. That's why it's a good combo, right? The 1 keeps them in there so that they get hit by everything.
So if I 5 and wait like half a second, they're already going to be out though.
No, because they have 2 hits and then there's a wait and then there's a 3rd hit. You can react to like hit confirm, and you can't really reposition too much. You can like take a few steps and then do it because the stagger on it's quite intense. But it's just that it still leaves them a break at the end. But you can just use a 1 after. It's not that bad. It will keep them there. You don't have to like have lightning fast reactions to hit confirm.
Okay, so 5 and the 1 is pretty consistent. They can't get out because there's like that first hit keeps them in place. The 1 then will keep them in place longer.
Pretty much.
Cool. All right. Just wanted to check on the stream. Okay. Yeah, it's still good. All right, so we're good. We missed our zap. He's pushing in. I land my 5, but since I don't have a 1. Okay, so I guess this was my question. I land a 5 and I don't have a 1 to keep him there. So he's really probably just going to spacebar out in a sec.
Yeah.
I mean, right? And if I follow up with F, then I could maybe do 2 into R, but he would probably spacebar out of the F anyway.
Yeah, so what I'd be doing here is I'd be doing F just to get a roll out of him, and then try and recatch him again with my 3 or my 4, or my B, right? Just try and get a recatch in some way after he rolls out.
So you would do 5 in the F to bait the roll, and then you're gonna 3 or 4 or B into a 2R.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do the 5, or we do the F. He's probably for sure gonna roll. He rolls and he rolled through the tsunami. So I did my 3 way too early.
That's right. So he has all immunity during the roll. So what you should have done is held it, wait for him to get up, and then use 3 so you could get the knockdown again.
And then from there, 2R. Got it. So he rolls. He's immune. I kite.
He used a stun. Like, you see that dash there? That's a stun. He can't do his combo anymore. He is so free right now.
Okay.
So this is where you don't have to worry about him. Like, he has Gatling, but he's not going to be able to combo off of that Gatling. Maybe a flamethrower, but it's not going to be all that much damage. So right now, you can literally just walk up at him.
So I could like Z and B. Like, could I even like blink on him in 4 or like blink on him in B? Yeah, just go ham. I run. Like, so I don't even notice. I'm kiting, and I should have just killed him. He's probably toast.
I think use your Z there, and you shouldn't, because like you were pretty safe. Kind of a waste of gauge, I'd say.
Okay. I think that's one of the things. Like, I don't know when I'm safe or not safe, so I just play overly safe always. I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna play like 100 yards away because I don't know what's actually happening. You know. That's
a good call though. That's like, if you're learning, that's the best call. So.
Yeah, I think that's. I never know when I can like punish or kill or when I have to run, so I pretty much always err on the side of just run unless I'm comboing. I don't know.
Yeah, Sorceress is a pussy class. Like, we're all cowards. We don't want to see fight. We just stay as far away as we can, and it works out.
All right, so
he has a shield right now, so that would not have worked. So one thing that I'd say is that shield that he had up, that blue shield, you notice that he had yellow outlines around him during that blue shield.
Yeah.
When he has that, no pushes. So your 4, your F, your 3, none of that's gonna do anything to him. Nor is your 1 or your 5. Like nothing other than your B is gonna be able to touch him. So you
Yep.
shouldn't have used your 3 there because he was immune to it. There was nothing that you could have done.
Got it.
But you do catch him at the end though, which is very nice.
So since I catched him here, I mean, I just, now I know I should have 1-2-R, right? I mean, one's coming up in a second. 1-2-R would fuck him up hard. But what I probably do is, well, I don't know what I do. Let's see. I do F for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You wouldn't be able to get a 1 because it was on cooldown. So even though you did F, you see how he still managed to space out. He still didn't get hit by the final one. And you see, it just wasn't fast enough. With F, there's like that big windup. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to react quickly to it.
So now he has no spacebar though. So I could,
Yeah.
I mean,
1 is going to be so valuable here because Artillerist doesn't have any mobility outside of his spacebar. So right now, you can just put that where he is, and unless he literally just like jukes you by walking, he's not going to be able to do much about it. He may use Gatling, he may use like a paralysis immune skill to try and resist it, but all of his paralysis immune skills also root him in place, which means you may get lucky with the hard CC, like RNG. So 1
Okay.
right now is what you're looking to do.
and I could just do 1 and the 2. If I land the 1, then do the 2.
Yep.
And then at that point, would I just run?
Yep. Just don't waste any skills, right? It's better
Right.
to save your skills for self PO and recatching.
All right. Okay. So let's see what I do. 1, land
Yep.
it. 2.
Yep.
Am I out of range on 2 or there?
Maybe it's going to vacuum him slightly to the center, so it may still be in range. Let's see.
So 2 is a little shorter range than I feel like. I'm not really. I always do it a little close to me. I need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 meters, like in terms of game value, right? 1 is like 14, and then choose like 12.
And 5 is also, or is 5 even longer than 14, like 16?
No, 5 is also 14, but it's a much bigger AoE, so it goes
I
further,
see.
right?
I see. So 1 and 5 are the same range. Actually, yeah, maybe let's go over ranges. So 1 and 5 are 14. This is 12.
F, I think, is the biggest one. I think that's 16.
The furthest range, you mean?
Yeah. So Inferno is one of the skills that even when you're like, this is one of the skills that we have, like the FOV patch that everybody was talking about, and this is one of the skills that you can snipe people out of FOV with, right? So
Man,
if
that's
you have
crazy.
them on the sides of your screen, then they won't land at all. Also, sorry, it was my bad. It's like 14 for Inferno, and then like 12 for
Zap.
for Lightning Funnel, yeah, and Cold Call.
And then 8 for
Yeah.
this?
And then I think it would be 10 for that. No, sorry. Oh, turns out it's actually 12 as well. But it seems like the range increase on Lightning Funnel that you take on the second pod makes it just be big enough to combo off of it. So forget. I'm talking trash.
So 1, 2, and 5 are all the same range?
They 1, 2, and 5 are all the same range, yes. But the pod increase sizes that you take on 1 and 5 makes them so that they're bigger than 2. With
Just
the
bigger
explosion.
AoE.
Yeah.
Got it. So if F is my furthest range, that's 14 then?
Yeah, 14
R,
and then 12, 12, 12.
and then what about R, B? Like, yeah, is R 12 as well?
R is gigantic. I think R is like 24 or something. R literally goes the entire map. Let's see.
Oh, what? Really? That's good to
Okay,
know.
let's see. It's like, so it's 16, but you have a 20% increase to that. So realistically, it's like 18. It's
Wow.
it's
Okay.
pretty insane.
And then, so 3, I mean, it's a wave, so it's a bit different. But how far does that wave actually go? Is that like 10-ish?
It depends on what pod you take. So if you take the rightmost pod, which is a slow wave, it goes 14 meters. If you take the AoE increase pod, which is a 30% increase, I think it also goes around 14. I think it goes like 14 to 16 meters. I think it goes slightly further. It's like 16 total. And if
Wait,
you
so
just take
this
middle
goes
pod,
almost as long as the fire?
yeah. It goes really far. If you take the fast pod, you're taking the middle pod, which is the rebound. That one is really short, which is like 10 or 12.
Maybe I have the short one.
specify. You do have the short one, that's for sure.
Is that a
'cause
mistake to be playing with the short one?
Not necessarily. It's good for 1v1 because you have a rebound, right? So it travels forwards, then it explodes backwards, right? So that's the double wave. So
Right.
technically, while it is shorter, it lingers for a very long time, and it has two pushes associated with it, right? The first and the second. So that's what makes it so good, right? It's
Okay.
less one that you use it to PO people from range or to get combos, or it's more the one that you use kind of just to self PO to stay safe.
And then B is probably just like 8 yards or something.
Let me see.
Pretty short,
B,
maybe
it
10.
doesn't really specify, but yeah, it's probably, I'd say, yeah, 8, probably less. I think, yeah, 6 to 8.
Okay.
You do have a range increase pod that you can take on it, which is like a 20% increase. But yeah, it's not a placement skill, right? It's just a wave that travels forwards.
Okay, so we keep playing. I electrocute into zap into wave, I guess, to get the dot. And he gets on me. I spacebar.
Mm-hmm.
I freeze him, but I have nothing up, so I just run. He gets out of the freeze. He can't spacebar out of that freeze. So how did he get out of that freeze? Or did the second part of the freeze never hit him?
Let's have a look at it again. Let's see. He spaced before the second part of the freeze connected. So remember, there's a two-hit attack. The first one's paralysis. The second one is RTC. You can still space in between the first and the second. That's why people run Gust, right? Because it's instant. It's not a first hit.
Maybe I should swap to Gust.
So yeah, so this is useful to catch people with high ping, which is precisely why I was running in Russia. Scummy tactic, but hey, you gotta make do with what you have to get the Grandmaster. But yeah, it's good like defensively because that paralysis that applies at the beginning, but it's not good as a hard TC because, well, you see what he does, he just spaces out.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe I'll start trying to get used to Gust too. That could be good.
Yeah, both are good. It's just different users.
Yeah. Okay, so I do that. Let's see. So I do that, and then he space-bars out because there's a 2-hit, and then I have like nothing on CD, so I could either kite or try to pre-4. See what I do. Just playing range.
That's fine. That's good. Oh, we got airstrike.
Zap. I stand up. I get airstrike. I get fucked up.
That's fine. Oh, I'd say you did really well holding roll the first time, and then the second time you panicked a little bit and you rolled, but there was no danger to you there. You could have held your roll, and there's nothing that he could do to you.
Okay. So go for the zap there. He's immune.
Yeah, like right now you're looking to run away. Like you can't do anything. You can't touch him.
And that's because the yellow around him, huh?
That's right, because that shield gives him that yellow outline for 8 seconds.
So B is the only thing I can really do.
Yeah, but because it's not instant, he can probably react to it with like a stun or something and then get you anyway. So I'd just be walking away. As I see that shield, it's danger time. I'm out.
Right. Okay. Okay. Shield's over. I go in for a 5.
Nice. But he reacts.
But I can't really follow it up with anything other than maybe use like F to bait his roll and then to 3 him. But okay, so I do get the F running. I don't even know if he rolls. Looks like he probably did roll. Yeah. So right here I should just land like a 3 into an R.
Yeah. To be honest, 1 is good too because your 3 is a smaller version, so it probably wouldn't have hit him at that range. So 1 is a good choice here.
We get the zap. We get the R. I'll electrocute again. Lol.
Oh, good stuff.
And then 3. And 3 hits him through that CC immune with electrocute.
No, you sorry. Oh, 3 hits. Yeah. 3 hits.
Okay.
Because remember, 3 is a push.
Right.
3 is not a hard
CC. Yeah. Okay.
Remember, your only hard CC is B. Grief standing into that mine at the very end. I respect it. You got the kill.
All right, let's go back. I want to see what happened there. So there's a mine just sitting on the ground right there, and I just ran next to it. So this thing here, I want to avoid. Like, how far do I have to be away? Like right here?
It's a pretty big AoE. So I'd say you see how there's like that inner circle inside the stage, the crisscrossy one. You have to be kind of outside of that at the very least. So you have to take like, at least 3 or 4 steps downwards. The thing is huge. You see the AoE.
Yeah. So like that's the circle I need to be out of.
Yeah.
That should hit me for 25k as I killed him. Oh my gosh. Wow. So if I see that little thing, I need to be far. I thought I just couldn't step on it. I didn't know I had.
No.
Wow, it's like a little landmine, huh?
Yeah. You can actually step on it. It's not a big a deal. So you can actually like do damage and go into it. It's just once you see that timer ticking, you gotta get away.
Oh, so I could like bait it and then spacebar out?
Yeah. You can like because it's on a timer, right? So it only comes down when the timer, like this little circle, the inner circle completes.
Got it.
So you can go in, punish him. So long as you get out in time, you're good.
All right, cool. All right, so now we're fighting Shadowhunter. Start with my 1, we land it. So I should 2R 100% of the time here.
Yep. 2.
F.
Took a little bit longer the R, and that was not good. F doesn't do much damage. It's a catching tool. Using that for damage is not worth it. So that was the issue there.
Okay.
Could use F like right now to catch him, but he runs straight into you anyway. So 3R right now.
So he F'd, and I knocked him up, and he spacebarred, and I 3'd. So that's good.
Yeah, that's
he's
good.
stuck on the ground, so I R here every time.
Yeah.
But I just
probably 5 into R even.
But I just don't do anything with it. Oh, I do R, but it's a little late. Still landed, I think. Spacebar to kite. Is that bad?
No, it's fine because he hasn't really. He should still have 1 more dash skill. So.
Oh shit! So the Z is bad though, right?
Yeah, the Z is a little bit overkill, but
okay,
should be all right. Just zone him out and wait for your cooldowns at this point.
So I missed my 1. I land the 5.
Yeah.
So then I do 2, which is fine.
He'll be able to move out of it if he has space.
Shit, you're right.
Right there, you'd be doing like F probably.
So 5 into F,
B.
or 5 into B.
Yeah.
But 5 into 2, big mistake because yeah, you can just spacebar.
If he mashes, but does he know? He does, and he goes into you even.
Okay, so I spacebar out. We missed the F there. We missed the 2 and the F. He just fucking spacebars out.
Yeah.
So I need the 3, like for sure, because he has no spacebar. The 3's gonna stick.
Yeah, 3 or 4, either one works at this point. You can also B because it knows a wave. Oh,
we missed the wave. We zap. We blink out. I pop the 1 on him. The 1 lands, but I don't have much followed up. I guess I B here to cancel this.
No, it doesn't land. He whiffs it. So you whiff it, but so does he.
So B here is pretty solid, right?
It is, yeah, because it would interrupt that beam.
Right.
Because of the paralysis in the first hit. So you could have just done B there and probably just walked up and then used 4, and then that guarantee that everything would land. Wouldn't do too much damage, but it'd buy you time.
Right. B in the 4, and then I would have just ran. We land the B, the first hit, and the second. So why doesn't he spacebar? It was on CD?
Probably because he just didn't know.
Okay.
He thought that he just walked through that to get to you, I feel. We've seen so far that the Shadowhunter is incredibly Unger, and he just goes to you every single opportunity he gets. So I think use that to your advantage, and definitely did there with the ice wave, right? Because
right,
he just walks in. He could just you can realize that he doesn't even try and walk out. If he didn't have space, he should be walking out of that.
Right.
But he walks into it. He keeps walking in, so he just loves you that much.
So here I R. I should be able to land R in that time.
Yeah. You have time. Too bad actually. Sorry, I think it was because it was on cooldown. It wasn't fast enough.
Okay, so we missed the R. That was his space, but not his trinket space. So I guess we could go for a 5 into a 1 here coming up in a second.
Yeah.
Let's see what I do. He blinks at me.
That was really risky.
What did I do?
You're using a 1 right now. Like he dashes to you. But he should still be able to do it again. That little dash that he does. So that inflicts paralysis on you, and he can do it once and he can do it twice. So he did it once, he misses, but then he could react to you doing that 1. He could use that dash again, and he'd catch you, and then he'd get blown up and probably killed. And at this point, as Sorceress, right, could do like crack blade into a house or something, and you'd just explode.
So here I probably 4 or 3.
Yeah, 4 or 3 is what I would have done. But I don't think he realizes that you're going for the 1, so it may not even matter. Like right there, I'd be... Oh, I guess it does, because he immunes it.
Yeah, okay. I get knocked up. I spacebar out on the knockdown. I roll out.
Yeah, he has a bit of brain
lag there.
He
runs into the zap. And then I knock him up with the 4.
No?
Wait, no. It got canceled, I guess.
Because he used his Demonic Claw, which is a paralysis immune skill.
And
so
he stuns
through.
Okay, and then he stuns me. So I'm taking a lot of damage here. Spacebar out after it ends. Going for my 3. It looks like it misses. So here I want a 5 into a 1, probably.
Honestly, right here, I'd be terrified. I'd be scared for my life because he's a Shadowhunter. He can dash at me anytime. I have no spacebar to dash. I have no roll to get away if he knocks me down, and I have no gauge. At that point, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna B defensively, or I'm gonna F defensively. I'm just gonna do something to keep this man away from rushing
Buy
into
some
me,
time.
so I can buy enough time. And if I land something, hopefully it'll give me enough gauge to get my Z. But you do land a knockdown.
So here
surprisingly.
I should just B, like, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know why he's just walking at you. Okay, there we go.
I mean, we're playing noobs. We're definitely playing noobs, yeah.
He's just walking at you. But yeah, you could have just done a B there, and it would have interrupted that beam. It's like he wouldn't even be able to get that off.
Right.
And
so I space bar out here. I use my 4 to get him up. Now that he's up, I R. Yeah.
Immediately.
We do that, but
took too long, but he didn't have roll, so you're good.
So I have to do it quicker than that, huh?
Yeah, because you want to get them before they touch the ground, otherwise they can space.
So right, okay, so I'm like repositioning. I need to R a lot sooner.
Yeah. By the time you left that AoE circle, it's already too late. By the time you leave the inner circle for reverse gravity, it's already too late. You have to do it really quickly.
All right, dude. That was awesome. Thank you so much, bro. That was so... I've learned so much already. So I feel like for me, like one of the biggest things is just knowing which combo to do. And I think the ultimate combo is 5-1-2-R in terms of like dealing damage. I didn't know that, so now I do, so that's cool. And then 3, F, and 4 are my pushes. B is my hard CC. 2 and R are my damage dealers. F or 5 is a CC, but there's like a gap, and I need to close the gap with 1. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of that that really helps. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's solid. You actually have a really good understanding of just like keeping your space, maintaining distance, good positioning. You're actually playing the fundamentals pretty well. I guess it's just like committing that to muscle memory, right? It's understanding, okay, what combos into this skill. It's like, I feel like if there's an issue, just like matchup knowledge as well. It's like, oh, knowing that if the demonic uses lightning fast once, then he may use it twice. So if I use a 1, I'm now in danger. So it's one of those things where at a low level, it doesn't matter all that much because they don't know what they can do. So much less you don't have to know what they can do. But as you start progressing upwards, it's just really understanding those matchups. Like, you know, when artillerist spaces, he now has no mobility. That's a free 1 or a 5. When Shadowhunter dashes at you, she can dash again. So use a skill that either has paralysis immunity or something to keep her off.
Like
stuff
a B.
like that. And yeah. And I guess last one is just like combos, right? Understanding, hey, you know, when you're doing reverse gravity, once you're doing your 4, you can, you know, do a Q or you can do an R immediately after it. You can make sure that because your 5 and your B have gaps between the first and the second hit, you can use a 1 or you can use, you know, an F or something just to keep them there for long enough for the skills to hit. Just do something to continue, or you can like cross them over each other, right? So 5 can combo into B and B can combo into 5. You know, just mix things up and get those combos down, and you should be solid.
Sick. Well, thanks, man. So where can people find you? Twitch.tv/Lin_Null?
That's correct, yeah. So thanks a lot for the shout out.
Yo, for sure. Yo, guys, give him a follow. Oh, he just typed in the chat too. Okay, cool. Yeah, check him out. Dude, I really appreciate it, man. That really, really, really helps me out.
Yeah, no, sounds good.
I mean, dude, there's so much more. Like, there was a matchup against a striker who played on Russian servers that just like 100 to Omi as well that we could probably look at, and like the artillerist and matchup that I was losing. But I think I'm gonna go grab some food because I'm hungry. But
sounds good to me. But yeah, don't worry about too much. Sorry, don't worry about 1v1 too much because Sorceress is not like an amazing 1v1 class. So if you say, oh, you know, the striker beat me, I'm gonna say, well, yes, that's the nature of things, you know.
Okay.
You know, plants get eaten by, you know, deer and stuff. So, yeah, that's regular.
That's good to know. Yeah.
3v3,